While speakers and guests are still entering our room, so once again, my dear guests, I would like to welcome you all. My name is Yanina Sokolova. I'm a journalist, and I'm pleased to be here at this ceremony and this forum, the forum that is dedicated to the development of the open data in Ukraine. And I do believe that there is no need to tell you how important this is for us. It is a very important thing for us, and we will speak about the economical influence and the potential of the open data in Ukraine. In what way the usage of the open data is helping our economy to develop? How much money can we get back to the Ukrainian budget? What is the access for all the people? How the open data helps to communicate with the government and how it influences the awareness of the citizens. That's everything that we're going to cover today. So we have everyone here. And once again, dear friends, to all of the people who have joined us here today, good day, good morning. We're pleased to have all of you here. We're pleased to have more and more people here. We are really glad that we have more and more audience from year to year, and once again, we would like to express our gratitude to you for that. I would like to speak a couple of organization moments. I would like to ask our speakers and moderators to be as brief as possible. It's very important for all of us, and it's also important for the people who are going to have their presentations after you. They will be really grateful for you for that. I would like to also pay your attention that at the opposite side of the badge that you have around your neck now, you have all of the information about the schedule that we have today. So all of the events that are going to take place today, so everything that is going to be held in the framework of the Open Data Forum, everything is being said here, so you don't have a chance to come up with all of the and I would like to pay your attention that both in this room and in another room there's also the Wi-Fi password, the login and Wi-Fi password. It works. I've checked it. It works both on the telephones and on computers, on the laptops. And I do believe that if you're going to be streaming today, and we would like to ask all of the people who would have this possibility to stream a little bit, or at least use the hashtag with the photos and the information on our event. Like, it's not for the PR, but then again, it is about the PR, but then again, it's more important for all the people who are still not aware in Ukraine on what open data is and why we use the open data for. Just a couple minutes ago, I did it, and I already have more than 5 questions in the messenger of what is going on, how can we find more information about it. So add your hashtag, and people won't have all of these questions for you. The people will just come up and they read what it is. So all of the main questions we've already covered. I have told you about the hashtag. So the hashtag, you use the hash OD forum, just the way our Wi-Fi network is titled. And then again, I have the pleasure to present you the speakers today. There's a lot of important speakers today who are important for the open data to be more and more widespread in Ukraine and keep on existing in our country. So I would like to invite the Minister of the Cabinet of Ministers, Alexander Sayenko, for the opening remarks. Do we have him? But he was here, and I've already seen him today. Okay, I do hope that he will join us a little bit later, so he hears us, he hears me. And Alexander Rezhenko, the head of the state agency on e-governance in Ukraine, so please welcome Alexander Rezhenko. Good day, everyone. I'm pleased to welcome you all here at today's forum. This is the second forum, Open Data Forum, the second forum that has been organized with our project together with the TAPAS project. And I would like to also say that at today's forum, I see much more people than I have seen at the previous forum, and I do believe that we're going to have the third and the fourth forum when we will going to discuss all of the issues on the open data, and we're going to discuss how it should be changed and what has to be changed when we're opening the data in Ukraine. As far as you're aware, in 2015 we had a legislation in place, and nowadays, as an agency, we're now developing the sphere of the open data in Ukraine. We're responsible for the unified portal of open data in Ukraine, and I can assure you that in recent years Ukraine has reached important results in this sphere. In 2016 we've joined the Charter of Open Data, and currently we are among the 30 countries that are following the requirements of this chapter, and there are many places already, many cities who are joining the charter, and I think this process is already unstoppable. And it's not just an issue that the data is only the policy of the government on the openness and transparency. The open data is the industry, the business, the civil activists, the average citizens of Ukraine can use this data that has been published by the state services for creating their own services, for developing their own products, for many different social research, the anti-corruption research. And we do believe that this is very important for all of us and for the development of Ukraine. We do know that the open data is one of the most important parts of the Ukrainian digital economy. A little bit on the plans and the forecasts that we have. Currently, one of the most important events and one of the very important events of today's forum is going to be the presentation of the updated open data portal of Ukraine. Currently, this portal has been built on the CCAN technology that is mostly used by the governments of different countries. It is one of the most updated and modern places. It gives us the possibility not only to publish the data, but also allows to work with the different portals of the cities, of the authorities, not only to publish data, but also gather data and process data. Moreover, it gives us a lot of new privileges for the people who are going to manage the data. And as far as you know, at the portal of the open data, we had more than 2,000 different counterparts involved. Right now, they're already working with an updated data portal. It's already been on the testing level, but it's going to be presented today. And you will be able, through the forum that is also a new feature on the new portal, you will be able to already do that, and you will be able to update it. So one of the main things that you'll be able to do is working on the high quality of the data. As far as you know, there were a lot of important data that has been published on the portal before, but there was a lot of work in place in order to clean it up, in order to have the data compliant to the main criteria. And one of the functions of the new portal is the pre-moderation of the data. In order to check the data, sometimes in the automatical regime, sometimes by the moderators of the agency, whether they meet the requirements, whether they meet the passport of the requirements, or whether they meet the requirements of 835 declaration, so whether that defines the list of the requirements for the open data. We do understand that sometimes the counterparts and the authorities cannot meet the requirements of this declaration. Sometimes we have to go ahead and we have to have our own initiative in place and sometimes publish the protocols that haven't been defined by this declaration. So we have a lot of data sets nowadays at the portal that might be interesting for the businesses and for the civil society. This year, we have already started an important research on what the open data brings to the economics of Ukraine. And according to this research, in 2017, approximately, we had more than $700 million of income into Ukrainian economics because of the usage of the open data and because of the publishing open data. It was an important research. It has been conducted by the Kyiv School of Economics, together with the IDI, together with the support of our partners, support of the US aid and UK aid. This is a fundamental research that has been conducted that provides us with very important, useful insights. We have seen a lot of European researchers also that, once again, give us an understanding that Ukraine should not stop at what has already been reached, and it will help us to, once again, enforce the influence of the open data on the economics. Of course, in the process of opening the data and publishing the open data, in the process of using the state portal, and in the process of working with a project that are using our data, we are always relying on our partners. We're always relying on the TAPAS project that has been supported by the USAID and UK aid. And we had a lot of already social services presented with their help and their support. The services that are also used, the services and the data has already been used by businesses. Like, for example, just recently we have presented on the service that provides you the information on primary registration of the vehicles, and we have a lot of services concerning ecology, concerning the water supply and water resources, and we do believe that the number of services is just going to rise. And there's a lot of demand from the representatives of civil society and businesses who use the open data, for developing their own businesses, and who use the open data to open even more information for have additional profit and additional impact on the positive development of the economics of Ukraine. I would like to thank you all for joining us here, and we're waiting for your feedback on the new portal. We're waiting for your feedback as users. We're waiting for your feedback as the representatives of businesses or civil society who are building up their own services, using our portals. And I know they have a lot of representatives of the cities here that have already started and launched their own portals, and we're now working on getting them all together into one national portal, to get integrated into one portal, for it to be the first point when we're going to gather all of the information for all the people who are using the open data. Thank you, and have a good day. Receive all of the important information that you need. Thank you very much. Thank you, Alexander. We do hope that you will have all the help in place. Thank you. I would like to also underline that our forum wouldn't have been possible without the financial support of the governments of the United States of America and the government of the UK, the TAPAS organization, who are the main organizers of this forum. And I would like to invite Susan Fritz, the regional director of the Agency of International Development of the USA in Ukraine, Moldova, and Belarus.
The stage wasn't made for short people like me. On behalf of USAID, I want to welcome everybody this morning to the second annual Open Data Forum. I'm pleased to be here for a second year in a row to underline just how important open data is to tackling corruption in Ukraine. All open data reforms have a common goal: to increase transparency and accountability of the government and to reduce corruption in the public sector. Last year's discussions at the Open Data Forum brought together many representatives from different sectors and showed just how eager many people are to get involved and participate in open data and using that open data for reform. The opening of government-held data in Ukraine is happening as a result of the close cooperation between government, civil society, and the private sector. I'm also very pleased to see many younger Ukrainians here today, people who, unlike me, are familiar with open data and all that it has to offer in terms of reforms and reducing corruption in a country like Ukraine. 2018 was an exciting year for the open data community in Ukraine. Presented this year, Ukraine's first open data economic impact study found that in 2017 alone, open data initiatives contributed over $700 million to the Ukrainian economy. That's a lot of money, over $700 million. For instance, open data related to Prozoro has simplified sellers and buyers' access to objective price quotes, consequently resulting in an overall increased market size. Open data has contributed to the creation of nearly 4,000 high-value, tech-centered jobs for Ukrainians working in the country's well-known IT sector. It also reduced public sector costs through innovative solutions and digitalization of bureaucratic procedures, a process that also contributes to reducing the costs of corruption in Ukraine. The study found that if momentum towards the development of open data continues, it has the potential of contributing as much as $1.4 billion to the Ukrainian economy by 2025, representing an almost 1% increase in the country's overall GDP. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank the government of Ukraine and its representatives here today and not here today for your leadership in working with USAID and UK Aid and our TAPAS project, jointly funded by both of our agencies and governments, fostering greater transparency in Ukraine. I look forward to learning more about Ukraine's progress on open data and its potential in reducing the country's corruption and spurring economic growth. Thank you for your attention and your partnership. Thank you.
Дякуємо. Дякуємо, пані Фріц.
Now the hard part, getting down.
Okay.
So the next speaker is Fiona Coughlin, the head of the programs of the Embassy of the UK in Ukraine. I thank our partners, the financial support from the governments of 2 states, from the US, the UK, the donors of the projects of TAPAS. And now we are moving on. We can't find Miss Fiona here. Oh, yes, we have her here, so let's give her a round of applause.
Dobry den, everyone. Good morning. The British government is very proud to be supporting the 2nd annual Open Data Forum as part of our ongoing commitment to Ukraine in its efforts to make government more transparent and efficient. As we know, data, information is power. Power to understand, power to hold to account, and as we're hearing, power to make quite a lot of money. The government of Ukraine has opened a large number of data sets and is continuing to do so on an ongoing basis. As momentum picks up, it is becoming increasingly clear how much interest there is in accessing such information. Both officials and the public at large have come to understand that open data equals progress, it equals safety, and it equals transparency. This year, we learnt in concrete terms how much open data has already contributed to Ukraine's prosperity and how much it stands to contribute in the future. Through our TAPAS project and other activities supported by the British government, we are striving to bring real change to the everyday lives of Ukrainian citizens. For example, only a few weeks ago, Ukraine joined a small group of countries that began publishing open data on water quality. And just a week ago, the Transportation Carriers e-Cabinet was launched, which allows online commercial vehicle registration, elements of, for the first time. This will not only make it easier to do business in Ukraine, but it will also help keep Ukraine's vast road network safer for millions of citizens, allowing individual citizens to literally just go online and look up vehicles that are on the road and their legal basis. These are tangible examples of international best practice that are at work in Ukraine today, and there's much, much more to come. I'm excited that this year's forum will also witness the launch of another round of Open Data Challenge winners. And as previous speakers have said, that really is the power of this data. How are we going to use it? How are you here today going to use it? It's precisely these kinds of exciting, innovative startup projects that are not only creating real value for the people of this country, they're also helping to shape the role and impact of open data in Ukraine for generations to come. Thank you very much for the invite today, and I hope you all have a very good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fiona. I will just add, dear friends, that this year the government of Ukraine, and it has already been mentioned by Mr. Alexander at the beginning of our forum, has already begun an active cooperation with the European Commission. So in the framework of the initiative Digital Order Agenda for Europe, the European Union grids the willingness of Ukraine to take the experience of the development of open data. So Digital Agenda for Europe is not only open data, or in fact, this is the creation of the state services and interaction between the registers as one of the components in the framework of the strategy of Europe 2020. And I have the honor to announce the next speaker, who is Marie Gabriel, the Commissioner of the EU on the digital economy, but unfortunately she wasn't able to join us at the event, but she didn't let us without the greeting, so we'll see the video greeting. So ladies and gentlemen, please look at the screen. But you do suspect what this lady had to say. I even feel that she wants to say that she greets Ukraine and does everything possible for the open data to be accessible for every Ukrainian. I almost told you the whole speech. Let's give a round of applause to the Commissioner of the EU on Digital Economy.